Good morning, friends. It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. It's hump day. It's middle of the week. It's Wednesday. Sometimes it's just kind of a little hard to hit the button to start. So thank you for your patience. I actually was just tempted to finish and stop and come back on, but I didn't because that's really just about me and my insecurities and having a hard time hitting the button. But hello, how are you? It is so nice to be back here with you today and be able to give you a tip and a task and a word. So, one of the things that I would like to share with you today is about nourishment. And it's about nourishment for your body and your mind and your soul. So, the question that I want to pose to you is, what are you feeding yourself and what are you feeding others? So, typically, I think when we hear the word feeding, we tend to think about food, and rightfully so. I mean, it's what comes to my mind first is feeding and food and what are we eating physically, and what are we our nourishment. We typically first thought think of food and physical, but it's also nourishment for our minds and nourishment for our soul. So I want to just kind of think about our nourishment in threes, in the body, the mind, and the spirit. And what are you feeding yourself? What are you feeding others? So kind of break it down. What are you feeding yourself? Because it matters. And what you put in your body and how you nourish your body really does affect your mind. And how you affect your mind and what you're thinking really affects what you do. And how you feel about what you're doing really affects your soul. And then what's in your soul really affects how you take care of your body. So we are beautifully and wonderfully made. You are beautifully and wonderfully made. Our bodies are amazing works, just so complex yet simple and so magnificent, and what our bodies are able to do and how they're able to heal and how we're able to grow and learn. And yet sometimes such little things can really derail the human body and the human spirit. Sometimes it's big things and sometimes it's little. But your nourishment matters. And your task for today is going to be purposeful. But before we talk, be purposeful about what you're feeding yourself. But before we go there, I just want to give you like this little quote that I heard in last November, and some of you may have been there in Hershey, where we got to hear just amazing speakers. But I heard Susie Larson speak, and she was telling her story, and she had been in the fitness world, and she also had some really extreme physical ailments that derailed her. And in this derailment of her physical ailments really caused other people to question her faith. She actually had people say to her, "What'd you do wrong that you're so sick that God's punishing you?" Like, for real. And it actually, so her physical ailments caused her to have spiritual derailments and mental. She did recover, and she has written a book, and she's gone on to inspire many people. But she had this quote that I want to share with you because it has stuck with me. What happens in our soul happens in our cells. What happens in our souls happens in our cells. So if there's something that happens that hurts our feelings or hurts our body or hurts our minds, that stays with us, it stays with us. And it isn't just limited to our mind. It also affects our spirit. It also affects our soul, our being, how we think, how we feel. It also affects our bodies. So what we feed ourselves matters. What we think, what we read, what we allow in, what we dwell on, all of it affects us. And it affects us in those three ways: in our physical being, and in our spiritual being, and in our mind and what we think. So it matters. So your task for today is to be purposeful in those 3 ways. So I want you to think about what is something positive that you can do for your body today, whether it's to eat some food that you know would be good, some particular food. Maybe you know that broccoli would be good or spinach would be good, or maybe it would be good for you to go for a walk, but do something good for your physical self that my hair sticking out that you don't normally do. And so for your body, for your mind, I want you to pick a purposeful, positive thought that you can come back to throughout the day and remind yourself. And then for your spirit, I want you to think about a word that can inspire you, lift you up, encourage you. So your task, your tip for today is what happens in your soul happens for your body. What are you feeding yourself? Because it matters. And the other part that matters, what you're feeding yourself, not only matters to you, but it matters to others. And there's the scripture, do unto others as you do unto yourself. Sometimes we tend to do better for others than we do for ourselves, but sometimes the best that we give others is the best we give ourselves. So if we want to treat others better, let's treat ourselves better. Let's take good care of ourselves and then give that from a healthy mindset, body, and spirit. We can serve others. And the word for today is actually a little bit broader. I'm going to start with, now come and have some breakfast. So that's John 21:12. And I want to just kind of set the stage for you. So this is the 3rd time that Jesus appeared to the disciples, and he told them to go and fish. And after they fished and they brought their fish, and then they had some bread, and he said, now come and have some breakfast. And as they were having breakfast, he said, do you love me? And then he said, now feed my lambs. Now feed my sheep. Take care of my sheep. So one of the aspects of this that I want to share with you is it mattered to Jesus that you eat breakfast. Mattered to Jesus what we are fed, not just in our bodies. It did. He reached the people by feeding them, giving them what they needed, knowing that the human body needs to eat. And so he nourished them with their bodies, and he nourished them with his word. Those times on the banks with the loaves and the fishes where he truly gave of his person and his self and directly nourished them with him and his word and his teachings. So that's what I want to leave you with today for your word. Now come and have some breakfast, but let what you're feeding yourself, your nourishment that you're going to feed yourself, be good for you, body, mind, and spirit. So be purposeful. Pick something positive to feed your body or do for your body. Pick something positive to feed your soul, a positive thought that's going to help you to grow, and a word that's going to help you to grow in the Lord. And then you can do that, and then you can feed Jesus' sheep. You can share with other people the goodness that he has given you, because you'll have it within you, and you'll have it from a strong, healthy body. So anything you want to share, I'm just going to kind of like pause for a minute, kind of take a look and see. Sometimes I can see comments right away, sometimes I can't. Any questions, any thoughts? Okay, so friends, remember, what you feed yourself matters, and it helps you to feed others. So go and be purposeful today with those positive foods, positive thoughts, positive words, and now come and have some breakfast. See you. Bye. Mwah.